A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you are doing good. Today is 6th July 2020, and I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Helen Keller. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. Challenges, setbacks, failures are part of our life. You cannot escape from these things, right? Every one of us is going to fail with something at some point of our life. So if we are going to see failures, if we are going to see challenges, if we are going to see setbacks, then why don't face it bravely? And why don't we come out from it in a much stronger form, rather than being miserable and not happy with or not happy about it. Anyway, dear friends, the StudyIQ team has launched a smart course. Now, this smart course is for Civil Services Examination. On your screen, you can see some of the best faculties have played a very important role in designing this whole smart course. And to find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. Till 10th July 2020, good news is that EMI offer is available. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. Dear friends, if you are following my Telegram channel, then you would be aware about the reason why today's lecture is rescheduled, or it is very late. So I want you guys to, if you are not, then please do follow me on Telegram so that you will get all the latest updates about my lectures. And please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And thank you very much for your love and support. We have achieved 8 million subscribers. This is a big achievement for all of us, and this is not possible without your love and your support. So please make sure that you spread the word about our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed our YouTube channel, then this is the right time. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you will never miss awesome videos made by StudyIQ educators. On our screen, we have 6 articles and 1 news item. So let me start with the first 2 articles. Both of them are about coronavirus or COVID-19 vaccine. Now, ICMR is one of the not one of the, but to be honest, to be precise, ICMR is nation's topmost medical research body, right? Nation's topmost medical research body. Now, the problem is that this topmost medical research body is behaving like a political party, or it looks like it is under too much pressure of central government. That ICMR director, or this ICMR, has said that it is going to launch a COVID-19 vaccine on 15th August 2020. Now, the reason why it is on top, at surface level, it looks like, okay, that's a big news, isn't it? That India has finally achieved something that can, or a medicine that can kill COVID-19, or a vaccine that can protect us from COVID-19. But reality is that if you dig a little bit deeper, then you find that the methodology that this ICMR is following it looks more political rather than scientific. Of course, if it is politics, then you can give big jumlas and you can claim big, or you can give big statements, but science cannot be rushed. You cannot launch a vaccine without proper trials. And experts have said that vaccine cannot be launched in such a hurry without reducing quality of clinical trials. So if you want to launch a medicine in a short time, then you have to compromise with the quality of medical trials. Now, I have been, and I believe all of us have been, following this whole COVID-19 episode since January 2020. And I know this thing for sure. I can very confidently tell you this thing, that there are so many experts. I have heard so many experts. I have read so many articles, and I can, bottom line that I can tell you about a vaccine is that even if we can find something by the end of 2020, or even if we can find something in 1 year's time from today, right? Let's say from July 2020 to July 2021, if we can find something, if we can find a medicine even on 1st July 2021, then as well this is going to be a record. As far as human history and medical science is concerned, we have not developed anything in this short period of time, because it takes nearly 10 years time. If you're, there are so many phases. I'm going to take you through this thing as well. Like on your screen, you can see this. Under normal circumstances, clinical trials on volunteers who are inoculated take over 10 years time. And the big question that I would like to ask ICMR is that who will be responsible for no effect? Now, imagine a scenario where people will be administered this so-called ICMR magic pill, and after taking that thing, people will feel that okay, they are now secure, nothing can happen to them. And what if people will start gathering in masses, and if then we will get some more coronavirus cases? Who will be held responsible for that thing? Second thing, let's hope that this medicine will work. And what about side effects? After 6 months time, or maybe after 1 year's time, if you find something with your kidneys, right, something kidney malfunction, or maybe something shrinking or swallowing, whatever it is, right, if something like that happens, then who will take responsibility of side effect? Science and data cannot be subordinated to political deadlines. Bhargava's letter, ICMR Director General Balram Bhargava, he wrote a letter. He said that indigenous vaccine jointly developed by Bharat Biotech and ICMR was among the government's top priority projects, which is being monitored at the topmost level. And he also said something like that subject enrollment should be done. Like, subject enrollment means those people on whom you are going to conduct trials, human beings, you need to enroll them as quickly as possible. And if you don't comply, or if you don't follow this order, then this thing will be taken very very strictly. So when your boss or when your top authority is writing this type of letter to you, then you are going to do everything as quickly as possible, because they have clearly stated that non-compliance will be viewed very strictly. Is this a way to find a vaccine or do conduct trials? When pressure started mounting on ICMR, then it clarified that with the help of this press release, that basically what he meant was to get rid of unnecessary red tapeism. Red tape basically means this bureaucracy, that one file will travel to so many various different desks before reaching to its logical conclusion. It's okay, that's a good thing, that if you want to cut red tapeism, that's something that we all want, and we will all appreciate it. But you have to keep this thing in mind, that hospital ethics committee cannot be pressurized. Second point is that researchers, if you're asking researchers to go easy, then you are compromising the quality, and you are increasing the risk of these vaccines, like side effects and no effect, the questions that we were discussing. Third is outcomes are pre-decided. Now, how can you pre-decide an outcome? That's a very surprising thing, and it's very surprising, it's very intriguing when country's topmost medical institution is behaving like this way, research institution is behaving in this way. And the fourth one is dissent faces disciplinary action. So if you don't follow, right, if let's imagine that if someone from this pyramid, someone from middle level or maybe lower level, somewhere from here or maybe here, if someone will ask question, if someone will raise question, then what you are going to do? What is the most you can say quickest step that we can find, or the quickest step that will be taken by ICMR? That person will face disciplinary action. So this ICMR's behavior reminds us about Trofim Lysenko. He was a Soviet agrobiologist, and he used to do things or execute things. He basically tried to subordinate science to politics. It reminds us of Patanjali as well, and that the reason why Patanjali we are discussing here is, remember big claims by Baba Ramdev. He said that he is going to launch this clinical trials are on, and then finally it's good that Ayush Ministry stepped in, and Ayush Ministry has stopped Patanjali from this big claims that they have found a cure for corona. It's now they are saying that it's not a corona cure, it's just an immunity booster. So this sort of attraction grabbing tactics are very dangerous. There are so many people, I strongly believe, right, that they are still thinking that Patanjali's medicine is going to protect them, and who is going to be responsible for the no effect damage and side effect damage. Moving on to next article. Here we have one more question that we need to ask. On one side, ministry, after this big claim by ICMR, Ministry of Science has said that it's going to take nearly 1 year's time, or medicine will not be ready before 2021. So let's say if it is left, let's say this Ministry of Science is talking about the first month of 2021, then as well we have got 6 months to go, half a year to go. And I don't think so. Means I hope we find something tomorrow, but a thorough process will take a bit of time. At present, global scientists, they have decided, they have agreed on this thing, that we need to compress this 10 years normal time. And under normal circumstances, nearly, clinical trials nearly take 10 years time, but they have agreed that they are going to, at present they have agreed to compress this whole phase 1, then you go to phase 2, and then phase 3 is the longer one, so it will take nearly 2 years time, 1 year's time, or 2 years time. So this big claim by ICMR is a bit more political. I hope you know what I mean. Things are clear, right? Because we have talked about so many things. So let's talk about one more important, and one more thing. Yes, before we means, of course, I have one more news item that I'm going to talk about, means I'm going to take you through. One important point is that there are total 12 institutes that are identified by ICMR. Now, out of this 12 institutions, there are 7 institutes. They have not yet received green signal from Independent Ethics Committee. So how you are going to conduct your trial? Out of 12, 7 have not received clearance from Ethics Committee, Independent Ethics Committee, and then you are confident that you can launch. Then Oxford COVID-19 vaccine. Oxford, remember UK's Oxford University, they launched this big program on this COVID-19 human trials, and as far as I know, this is one of the biggest in the world. They have started this thing back 2 months ago, something. It's been nearly 2 months. So they are miles ahead of us, and then as well, all of the sudden we are, overtaking all these nations and all these various different institutions, and then we are ready to claiming big things. So that's a matter of shame for us. Then I have added one news item with this two editorials. Indigenous Indian COVID-19 vaccines are in the global race to end the coronavirus pandemic now. Science and Technology Ministry said that a silver lining has appeared with the announcement of Covaxin by Bharat Biotech and a Zycov-D vaccine by Zydus Cadila. Drug Controller General of India has given the nod to conduct human trials of this vaccine. Now, India is also known as pharmacy of the world. We have been supplying medicines to various different nations of this world, particularly developing countries. And the thing is, Ministry of Science has said that it will take nearly before 2021. It's not possible. And Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India, Professor K. Vijay Raghavan, has said that it is important that vaccines are properly tested to ensure its quality and safety. So this is again a very, very important statement coming from Principal Scientific Advisor. So I think now ICMR will delay its deadline. If not, then we have to wait and watch for it, right? Moving on to next item. This one is about all these political woes. Now, we have talked about India and Nepal in detail. Remember, for those new students, let me give you a brief about what's going on. First of all, let's understand India and Nepal's relationship as quickly as possible, right? In a nutshell, we have this roti-beti relationship. Roti-beti relationship means matrimonial relationship is there. We share food with each other. That means our culture is We share so many common things in our culture. Of course, our culture is different as well. That adds more color to the canvas. Defense relationship are extremely, you can say, outstanding, right? We have Gurkha regiment in our country. As far as I know, there are only two countries on this planet, as far as I know. One is UK and India. We have one Gurkha regiment, and our defense forces, they hire they hire these cadets from Nepal. So this indicates that defense relationship to this level is like, it indicates the trust and people to people contact between these two countries or with each other. Now the problem is, from last few months, we have observed this thing, that Nepal's Prime Minister has been very vocal, has been very negative. He is basically bashing our country. And the main reason here is that, see, in Nepal you have this 2 years security of tenure. When you become Prime Minister, for the first 2 years you will get a security of tenure. So there will be no floor test, no one can challenge you, right? You will stay Prime Minister for 2 years. So this is something that is available in Nepal. Now this thing is over. So before it was going to expire, as far as I know, it's over. Just recently this period expired. But before that, when it was about to expire, of course, you are going to analyze what your Prime Minister did in last 2 years. So what Oli started doing, he started talking about India. And when your Prime Minister is talking about in a country like, imagine the relationship that we have with, just imagine all of a sudden if Prime Minister of our country, he will start talking bad things about Bhutan. It will surprise all of us, isn't it? That will be a big news, because we all know that Bhutan is a very dear friend of our country. So in Nepal, people know that India is a very dear friend of Nepal. So when your Prime Minister starts talking about bad things about India, then that becomes a big news. And people, they talk about, means that is one of the most, most interesting or most eyeball-catching news in Nepal. So he was basically trying to distract people's attention. He was trying to basically cover up his failures. I hope you know what I mean, right? He's not as successful Prime Minister in terms of economy and other things. All the things that he has promised, he has not achieved those things. So he was basically trying to cover up. So he used India. And then you know very well that China is ready to, China is trying to attract all these countries by giving money and everything. So the thing is that why these countries are not learning a lesson from Hambantota. On your screen you can see Sri Lanka, and here you can see this is a port city, Hambantota. Now let me briefly give you a story about this Hambantota. So I'm talking about 5-6 years ago, or before that, Rajapaksa, who is at present Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was then president, he is now Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. So when he was president, he was considered, his regime was known as, he was famous for being pro-China and anti-India. So China said big things about Hambantota, and it's a very strategic location in Indian Ocean. It will be Singapore of this region and things like that. So China started investing in this infrastructure building of this port. And if you go through the figures of 2012, then out of the big claim was that you will find thousands of ships here, and thousands of ships, they pass from this region as well, because we are talking about Indian Ocean, one of the busiest oceans in the world. So now in whole year, your big new latest port drew only 34 ships. So basically it's a big failure. So what China did, China took over this Hambantota region for 99 years from Sri Lanka. So it's a sort of colony, right? It's a way of capturing your land. So that's what China is doing, and that's what China will do with Pakistan. That's what it will do with Nepal and other countries. So they need to learn so many things from this Hambantota experience. India must not cast anchor in Enrica Lexi. Now, dear friends, if this is your first day, then I want you guys to check out my Saturday's 4th July 2020's lecture. I have explained basic things about this whole case. So it will take 5-10 minutes for you guys to go through that whole period or whole discussion, and then you can come back to it. Regular students, let's crack on. The operative part of the Annex 7 Arbitral Tribunal's decision that was made public on 2nd July 2020. Basically, Italy won and we lost this battle. Now, the most interesting thing is that split verdict, 3-2. That means 3 judges are in favor of Italy and 2 are in favor of India. Everything took place under the umbrella of UNCLOS, that is United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea, and under that this tribunal was established. The tribunal is known as International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, that is ITLOS. Now the thing is, we have lost this case. The reason why we have lost this case, there are a few questions as well that I would like to ask or present in front of government and every one of us. ITLOS had asked both countries to suspend all court proceedings so that new initiations are not started, and basically they want to end this chapter once and for all. Now we have lost 2 fishermen of our country, and this Italian Marines, they got this protection of immunity. Italy claimed that these 2 Marines, they were acting as state. They were doing state duty. They were not acting on personal grounds. They were acting as state agents. Okay, that's understandable. They are Marines, right? But the thing is, they were not on Italy's this naval ship, right? They were on merchant ship. They were not on their armed defense ship. They were deployed on merchant ship, and they thought that these 2 fishermen of our country, right, Karelian fishermen, they thought that these 2 fishermen are pirates. Rather than giving any warning signal or anything else, right, they just took these 2 fishermen down. And now Italy is using this immunity of state official thing. The matter of concern is that now this case will be used in future cases as well. If something like this will happen in future, then Italy versus India case will be used, and they will say that this merchant or this Marines were, or any other Marines or commandos, whatever, right, they are acting as state agents and they are covered under immunity. Immunity is given to presidents in some countries, prime ministers, your diplomats, right? They get immunity. You cannot say that tomorrow some Indian fisherman will take down someone else, maybe Pakistan's fisherman, and then we cannot say that our fisherman was under this flag of India and he got license from India, so he was acting as a state. Then anyone will come out with any sort of excuse. So this is not fair. Second thing, Italy has said that it is going to try this 2 Marines in under domestic laws. Now we have to follow this thing, the way Italy has protected these 2 Marines, and Italy even used the European Union to create pressure on our country. So I don't think so that Italian courts are going to be very lenient. I think they are going to be acquitted as quickly as possible. So we need to introspect, like how much we did, how we have handled this whole affair. The interest that we are taking in this Kulbhushan Jadhav's case, right, and it's very important. He is our citizen, of course. If we are deploying best lawyer for Kulbhushan Jadhav's case, then we should deploy the best one for these 2 fishermen as well. This whole case, it's not about compensation. Compensation is not going to bring them back. It's about doing justice. Moving on, re-enfranchise the forgotten voter. Very interesting article. Now the thing is, dear friends, recently Government of India has changed some conditions regarding postal ballot. Postal ballot is you can cast your vote via post. So earlier on, citizens above the age of 80 and Divyangs, they were allowed to have postal ballot, but keeping in mind this COVID-19 thing. Government of India has decided, or ECI has said, that senior citizens above the age of 65, they are eligible for postal ballot. Now this creates a very interesting platform for discussion, that in our country we have some, as per this economic survey of 2017, we have some 13.9 or 14 crore migrant workers. Now migrant workers, they face enormous difficulties in exercising their franchise because they are not present at their hometown, and they cannot afford as well to just cast their vote. They cannot take a train or bus or something to go back and just cast their vote and come back. It's going to be expensive, so we have to find some other way. And here we are talking about 13.9 crore people, right? Those people who are eligible to vote. In our country, the big achievement is that we have this beautiful ECI. ECI is a constitutional body. The powers that are bestowed on ECI, they come from or derive from Constitution, right? Remember, there is a difference between constitutional body and statutory body. Constitutional bodies are very strong, and overall performance as well of this constitutional bodies have been proved to be much better compared to other bodies. So we have 91.05 crore registered voters in our nation, and in 2019 general election, 61.36 crore, that is 67.4% of this 91.05 crore voters, they have casted their vote. So you can imagine that we are talking about one of the biggest democracy in the world. Look at the figures here, 61.36 crore people voting. So anyway, if you calculate, then you find that 29.68 crore voters didn't vote. Now the question is why. So there was a research conducted, and some 10 crore people said that they are not interested in politics. Okay, fair enough, it's their choice. But what about the other 20 crore people? Most of them are NRIs as well. Like 3 crore NRIs are part of this 20 crore voters who have not casted their votes. They are eligible to vote. Most of them, they are ready to vote as well, but they don't have that platform. There is a big gap. There is a valley, between voting and where they are. So what can we do about it? What about voter portability? See, we have this electronically transmitted postal ballot system, PBS. Sorry, dear friends, I don't have my pen today. I'm using another device, right? As I told you, like power failure thing. So here it is. I'm not able to. I'm using my mouse literally to highlight these things. So bear with me. Electronically transmitted postal ballot system. So this facility is given to diplomats who are posted outside our country. Our diplomats, of course, and to armed forces personnel as well. So how do they cast their vote? And is it a secure system? Yes. ETPBS is developed by which bodies? So it is developed by ECI, that is Election Commission of India, and CDAC, that is Center for Development of Advanced Computing. They have designed this whole thing. So how it works is that you will get a link. Then you click that link, then you will get one OTP to confirm. Once that OTP is clear, then you will get a PIN. So it is a very secure system. Another thing that we need to think about is, in today's world, right, we are transferring money as well. We are paying money. Money is a very important thing, isn't it? I'm not saying it is the only important thing, right? Mind you, I'm saying that is one of the most important thing. One of the most. It's not always on your first priority, but it will be on your top 3 priority, maybe number 3, or maybe top 5 priority, maybe number 5, maybe number 2, sometime maybe number 1 as well. Anyway, I'll leave it on you guys. So if we can transfer money using electronic platforms or digital platforms, then why can't we cast a secure vote using digital platform? Of course, I know that there are countries, they will keep an eye and they will try to hack the system, but then we have to have cyber warriors that can protect us. ECI is testing Aadhaar linked voter ID, and that's a very interesting thing. A few months ago, I still remember this solution. I have discussed this solution. If you are regular students and if you have been if you have followed my lectures for a very long period of time, then you will remember this, that if you see this reality shows, these contestants, they will ask means viewers to vote for them. So you cannot vote more than once using your smartphone or any other phone, right? One mobile number, you can cast only one vote. So if this reality shows, if they can have this system, then why can't a country like ECI can easily develop this system? I'm not saying this is the ultimate solution. I'm just saying that this is also a possibility. We can have one mobile phone, then you can use the camera of mobile phone. You can use this finger scanner of this this lock opener thing that we get on our phone, this button, touch button. So we can use that for Aadhaar verification. Let's say if someone is a senior citizen, they don't have access to smartphone, then you can give your smartphone, and if you use this few things, then that person can select, and that person can cast his or her vote. So there are so many things that means if we can get the best brains, then we can find a solution. E-voting is the future. We can use this facility that we use in Bitcoin. Can't remember the name at present. It's a very secure system. It's a very secure network. I forgot the name. I'm sure many of you would be aware about what I'm saying, that this whole Bitcoin works on a platform. So you can use that thing as well. It is very secure. So Thomas Jefferson has said that we do not have government by majority, we have government by the majority who participate. So it's very right that it's not about majority. Government do not have, means we do not have government by majority. It is those active participants, and here we are talking about 20 crore people. Out of that, even if let's say 10 crore people, if we create facilities through which this 10 crore people can vote, then that can create a big difference. That can create a huge difference. How to counter China? In 1987, both India's so this one is about how to counter China. In 1987, we used to be equal in terms of nominal GDP. There was not that big gap, but in 2019, Chinese economy is 5 times larger than ours. So a big question is what China did right, and what happened with our country? Why we are 5 times smaller, or our economy is 5 times smaller than China? The main reason that I think is lethargy. Right, we are not as quick as China, and this is a reality. If you like it or not, right, this is a reality. We are very slow. Our system is very, very slow. Even today, I'm not saying that things have not changed at all. After 1991, so many things have changed, but labor laws still the same. Capital, very difficult to get. You see so many if you go do it once, right, whenever in future, if you have a small big business, if you have big business, that's a good thing. If you have a small business, just visit a bank and try to get a loan from it. You will find that it will take ages, or they will take so many. So it's not that easy to get capital, and particularly for big companies as well, when they need huge amount of money, it's very difficult for them as well. It's not like if big companies, they get capital easily. It's difficult for them because their amount is the amount they need is not 1 crore, 2 crore. They need 100, 200, 500 crore rupees. So that also is difficult. Land, even today, so many permissions that you have to take from state level and so many other things. So what I'm saying is that China has acted very swiftly, and we have been very lethargic. This whole bureaucratic system of our country is not up to the mark. At present, what is going on? This LSE issue is going on. We are giving our best, to counter China, but we have to understand this thing, that they have more money, so they can last for a few more months than us. The other thing is, it's not that we are weak. What I'm saying is, these are ground realities. They have more money. They have deep pockets. Second thing, we have limited fiscal monetary tools. Already before COVID-19, things were not that great. After COVID-19, the things, right? We are going to be in minus. Our GDP is going to be in minus in red zone. It's going to be, it may even hit double digit in contraction. So whatever little money we have to summon it to give a best fight. So that is something that is very challenging for our country. The other thing is, there are many states, they have temporarily lifted labor restrictions, and a few organizations, they have opposed this resignation. They have opposed this this lifting of restrictions, not resignation. Now the thing is, why you are controlling the big question that comes in my mind, and I cannot understand this thing is, there are so many things where we can save money. For example, transportation. If we spend huge amount of money on transportation because we are using trucks rather than waterways. Waterways it can carry more load. It is much cheaper, much greener. But then as well we are using roadways, loading, unloading. Japan has designed so many things. They will save time. If they can save 2 minutes as well, then they will save it. They will not say it's just 2 minutes. They will try to save everything. If you can save more fuel, then they will try to do it. Here things are not, we are not working on that precision. So our things are more, our products, our operation is more expensive. So if you can save, let's say 20 rupees from transportation cost, then you can give 10 rupees extra to your labor. And if you give more money in the hands of labor, then they are going to spend this money. So this is going to help your economy as well. At present, China is facing intense scrutiny. Trust, that's a big question on China. So this is the right time that we should introduce more bold reforms. Countries like Vietnam and other nations, ASEAN nations, they are doing very well. So this is the time. If we miss this time, we have missed so many opportunities. If we miss this one as well, then other countries are going to make the most out of it, like say Vietnam. So bold reforms is the only thing. We need to walk the talk. That's what I can say. And on your screen, you have this news items. We have already talked about this ICMR news item. Then these are a few other news items. Recovery rate is 60.77%. Centrally protected monument to open from today. Air India to operate 36 flights between USA and India. Indian Air Force joins locust control operations in Rajasthan. And Chennai has opened up from full lockdown to unlock phase since early morning. And that's everything in today's discussion, dear friends. Thank you very much for your love and support. I tried my level best to bring this lecture out as early, as quickly as possible. But as I told you via Telegram channel that I'm speaking to you right now when I'm still facing this blackout. So I don't know how long my computer will last now. I'm nearly out of my second laptop is also out of battery, but it's okay, right? Challenges are something that we need to take very positively, and it's okay. Enjoy your day. I will see you hopefully as quickly as possible with daily financial news analysis. God bless you all. Jai Hind.